Have you ever came across a person who gets mixed up with every other group? Who is able to catch all the ears and all the eyes during a conversation? And do have that superpower to start a random conversation with every other person? And you literally glared them while pondering, how can I too have such an amazing and attractive personality like them? How can I too become such a vibrant figure like them? How can I too become such an open-minded person like them? Well, if yes, then today you are going to surely get the answer for your thought. How can I become an open-minded person to the best of my advantage? So in this video today, we are going to have a detailed discussion over a very simple yet effective model that will drive you to become an open-minded person. And trust me, it's not a motivational video watching after which you will get rage up for a day or so. Every piece of information that we are going to share with you today would be backed by scientific reasons as well as researches and some real life events. So make sure you're watching this video, aka tutorial to become an open-minded person till the very end, because you will surely going to learn a lot of new things about human brain, and this video would be full of information and some amazing facts and figures. So watch this video, and if you are new to this channel, make sure to hit that bell icon so you can get notified about all the amazing and informative stuff that we are posting. So let me just clear one thing. Open-mindedness is not just a trait or a characteristic that we simply inherit from our parents. Open-mindedness is more of a skill, a very demanding skill, and like all other skills, if you want to achieve mastery in it, you need to practice it consistently and with dedication. And if you think that only extrovert people can be open-minded, then I have got a very simple question for all of you. How many times this thing has actually happened with you that you came across a super extrovert personality who is literally vomiting out shitty words and baseless things in front of you? And how many times you actually came across a super intellectual, a super intelligent person who speaks less, but whenever he speaks, it's literally words of wisdom that flow from his mouth? So open-mindedness is not connected to whether you are an extrovert person or an introvert person. The real scale to measure how much actually open-minded you are basically revolves around three things, which we are going to discuss as the KQE model: knowledge, questioning, and experience. So in order to keep this video simple and understandable to all of you, we are going to discuss these three aspects of open-mindedness in two parts. And in this first part, we are going to have a detailed discussion over the knowledge aspect of open-mindedness, or by far the most important aspect of open-mindedness, which is knowledge. So one of the greatest philosophers of all time, who is considered to be the founder of Western philosophy, Socrates, had said that true knowledge exists in knowing that you know nothing. But I think these philosophical quotes sometimes fall short to actually make us realize the true worth of knowledge for human mind. So instead, the question should be how the human brain reacts when it is supplied with new knowledge. So before jumping on to the actual fact, we'll first have a quick go through of the basic neurological structure of the human brain. So basically, human mind is made up of cells which in neurology are called as neurons. Now, whatever new information, whatever new knowledge that we are consuming, it travels in the brain through these neurons in the form of electrical impulses. Now, there are over 100 billion neurons spread throughout the brain, and all these neurons have a component called as dendrite at their one end. Now, this dendrite is basically a branch-like structure that spreads throughout the brain. So basically, the electrical impulses or the information is transferred from the dendrite of one neuron to the dendrite of the other neuron, since all these dendrites are interconnected to form a branch-like structure in the brain. So this is how basically information travels in the brain. Now here comes the interesting part. Every time you consume a new piece of knowledge, the branches of the dendrite gets even more wider and it gets connected to the branches of other dendrites, thus strengthening its own pathway through which the information travels down. And as you keep consuming more and more knowledge, more and more information, the branches of the dendrite keep spreading and keep connecting to the branches of other dendrites. And this is how information travels even more faster in your brain through these interconnected branches of the dendrites, and you tend to become super intelligent and super efficient. And a very relatable example could be how sometimes, in order to save our time, we don't choose to go by a straight road from a single point to the other point. Instead, we choose to go by the interconnected roads because that tends to save our time and we are able to reach our destined location even more quickly. So the same thing is happening here. Instead of following a straight pathway, the information is traveling through these interconnected branch-like structure of the dendrites, and as a result, information travels even more faster in the brain, due to which our intelligence increases and the speed at which we can process the new information also increases. And this thing has also been backed by a scientific experiment conducted at the Amsterdam University Medical Center with 46 patients of brain surgery. And when the living neurons of individual patients were tested, it comes out that patients who possess higher IQ level tend to have even more complicated dendrite structure within their neuron. Or in simple words, patients that have a higher IQ level tend to have even more branches of their dendrite within their neurological pattern or the neurological network. Consuming more and more knowledge would not just make you an open-minded person, but it will also strengthen the cells of your brain, which will help it to process and interpret information at the speed of light. And if I have to give you a living example of someone who has literally made revolutionary inventions just by consuming more and more knowledge, then without a doubt it would be the legendary entrepreneur Elon Musk. He wanted to create SpaceX. He started consuming knowledge about rocket science and space. He wished to create Tesla. He started consuming knowledge about automobile industry, and now when he wants to create AI companies like Neuralink, he is consuming more and more knowledge about artificial intelligence. There is a very minute difference between the thought process of an closed-minded and an open-minded person. Now listen to it very carefully what I'm saying. A closed-minded person will always decide the outcome of whatever activity he is doing based upon the limited knowledge he has with his brain. But on the other hand, an open-minded person will always look out for new knowledge in order to do new activities and will not work upon his preconceived notions. And this minute difference is exactly what differentiates the brain of a closed-minded person who is typified by preconceived notion and the brain of an open-minded person who is considered to be a creative mindset. So this was it for the part 1 of the series, how to become an open-minded person. And if you like this concept, make sure you are sharing it with more and more people. Stay tuned for the part 2, it would come soon, and for that you can also hit the notification bell so you can get notified about all the videos that we are going to post on this channel.